Welcome to the Parent Information Meeting for your Start Smart program. At this meeting, your coordinator will introduce you to Start Smart and will get the program off to a good start. Start Smart focuses on motor skill development, while it allows parents and children to work one-on-one and spend a lot of quality time together. As a youth sport parent, your role is to make sports a fun, safe, and positive experience for your child. Program guidelines are outlined in your Start Smart Participant Manual to ensure that your child obtains a high level of success and achievement during the Start Smart program. We've also included activities with performance cues in these manuals to help you continue practicing at home with your child after the completion of the program. A study conducted by the National Alliance for Youth Sports found that 49% of children ages 5 to 10 who are already participating in organized sports did not have the motor skills necessary to be successful in those programs. The study also showed that children who are given proper motor skill instruction in a fun, supervised setting are more likely to be ready for organized sports. Get in the habit of asking your child, "Did you have fun today?" If the answer is yes, follow up by asking, "What was the most fun?" Learn what your child likes most and you can work together to make sure the fun continues. If the answer is no, ask why it wasn't fun. This way you can work together to make the next session more enjoyable. Get into the habit of emphasizing fun over winning. This is the appropriate mindset for future youth sports participation. Let's talk about some specific ways that you can be a model youth sports parent. Part of being a great team parent lies in knowing that there are 4 key goals to each and every youth sport program. We want to help your child and every child to learn a little bit about the fundamentals of a sport. Make some new friends. Experience the thrill of sports participation and have fun. We'll know we've met those goals if in the end your child wants to come back. But how do we ensure that the excitement we see out there on the first day is there on the last day and all through the season? Well, it starts by asking ourselves as parents, what are my goals for a son or daughter learning to play a sport? I'll bet you can still remember what it was like the first time you stepped up to bat, or dribbled a basketball, or skated on a hockey line, or swam your first relay race. If you kept it up, if it led to years or maybe a lifetime of activities, odds are that it happened because from the very start, it was fun.
Youth sport, at its very essence, is supposed to be a recreational activity. The purpose is to have fun. In fact, if you look at the sports psychology research on the motives for children wanting to participate, the vast majority indicates that having fun is the primary motive. However, some parents become overzealous in their desire to see their children succeed. Now, kept in check, there's nothing wrong with this. We want parents to become involved. The problem becomes apparent when the child's success becomes the only goal, or the most important goal, rather than the child's enjoyment.
Pull it back! Pull it back!
Ever see yourself in this picture? If so, then it's time to ask yourself again, just what are my goals for my son or daughter in youth sports? If you want your child to enjoy being on a team, it's important for you to know that of the 20 million children participating in out-of-school youth sports, 70% will quit by the age 13. The number one reason cited by children for quitting sports is that it just stops being fun.
Anytime a parent wants their child to participate to satisfy the parent's needs, you're going to have a problem. When your child succeeds, of course you feel pride, but for whom are you feeling that pride? Is it for you or is it for your child? You have to be honest with yourself here. The parent's job is to provide their children with unconditional love and support, whether they win or lose. How they handle this responsibility will determine the level of fun and enjoyment that the experience will bring to everyone involved.
Okay, so what can you, as a parent and an important member of our program, do to keep youth sports fun and enjoyable for everyone, kids and adults? Well, let's start with a look at our team roster. Here's our group of players. They're out on the field, on the ice, on the court, ready to play and have fun. Here are the coaches, adults who've agreed to take on a serious yet very rewarding challenge. Your coaches have a very important leadership role on the team, but to do their job well, they need the assistance of some other important team members, you, the parents. The fans in the stands encouraging the learning, the efforts, the smiles, and sharing in the fun. Let's take a look at our team game plan. As the leader of our team, it's the coach or coach's job to help kids learn how to develop skills and confidence while playing safely and fairly. As part of our team, you need to respect the commitment of your coach, the commitment your coach has made to each and every player. It's not fair to treat the coach as an unpaid babysitter. It's also not fair to think of the games and practices as free time when you can just drop the kids off and escape parenting for an hour or two.
Everybody get a snack and a drink.
Being on our team requires important commitments on your part too. And it all starts with recognizing that in order for it to be fun, youth sports needs to be a positive learning experience.
Stay low and you drive. Short, choppy steps.
We view this youth sports program as an extension of your child's opportunity to learn motor skills, teamwork, cooperation, sportsmanship, and social skills, and many other positive traits that will contribute to their growth and to their development as confident, productive, and compassionate young people. In many ways, wherever your players practice or play their games are a lot like school classrooms. In this case, coaches are the teachers. Your behavior as a parent must be respectful of that classroom. This means showing respect for coaches and officials. Let the coaches coach. Let the officials officiate. Your role, and it's an important one, is to show your support through positive, encouraging comments to players on both teams. That's right. After all, young athletes look for and need positive reinforcement for their efforts, regardless of which team they're on. Remember, these are kids out here. They're not miniature adults. Sure, they're going to make mistakes. That's all part of the learning process. So go easy on them and fight the urge to criticize. Always be mindful of the fact that the coaches are going to do their best to make sure that every child has the best experience possible. You certainly have the right to voice your opinion or complaint, but it is not appropriate to discuss your concerns at practices or at the games. The coach's focus and responsibility is with the players. The time to address your concerns is away from the players, and in particular, away from your child. After all, you wouldn't disrupt a classroom to approach a teacher. Instead, you'd request a parent-teacher conference when the class is not in session. The same goes for your league. Learn the league's complaint policies and procedures now, and it may come in handy for the future. If you have a question or concern, ask the coach after this meeting or certainly before you get too far into the season.
31, how do we say?
Remember, too, that your coaches are attempting to help every player realize his or her potential to learn the plays, to develop skills, and to experience success. This is a key objective of the program. Keep that in mind, and you will better understand why we do what we do and how you can help support the coach's efforts. Now, for some of you, this is definitely going to test your restraint because in some cases, you may have more experience than your child's coach. Maybe you were an accomplished athlete who played in more competitive games. But remember, that was your turn with sports. Now it's your child's turn. We adults must learn that there is a very big difference between children's games played at an early age and the more competitive sports we may have played later in high school, college, or even professionally. By remembering the differences, we will be better equipped to understand the goals of youth sports and to keep it all in proper perspective for the kids who we are here to help.
Good job!
Playing time. It's an important thing for everyone, and it would be great if every player could play every minute of every game. But because of the large number of players on most teams, that is just not possible. We encourage our coaches to make every effort to equalize the playing time of each member of the team. Sometimes that may mean playing a less talented player in a close game, but that's all part of learning too. Coaches, players, and parents need to learn together and accept that being a team member, winning and losing, are all part of the sports experience. It is a shame when parents are the people least capable of accepting the total scope of a youth sports experience. When adults' emotions get out of hand, when winning overshadows everything, parents ruin the fun for everyone.
Part of being an adult and part of being mature has to do with being able to keep your emotions in check. One of the most obvious and telling situations about a person's ability to do that is around youth sports. When an adult loses control or perspective around impressionable children, everyone knows it, and it can be devastatingly embarrassing for the person and their entire family.
Now that we're in agreement on what we don't want, let's talk about some ways you can help everyone by being a model league parent. First, get interested in your child's sport. Learn something about its lore, its history, and its finer points. Feed your child's interest in their sport without getting pushy and without living your sports experience vicariously through your child. Second, be realistic about your child's abilities. At this point, it's important for them to simply be involved. Talk of being a starter on the high school team in a few years, or winning a college athletic scholarship, or paying for your retirement with that fat bonus check they'll sign on a pro contract in another 15 years has no place in youth sports. Not even as a joke. Remember, kids can take everything to heart, including your expectations. Third, make every effort to get your child to team practice. It's hard enough to teach everything the team needs to know as a group for the upcoming game. When players miss practices, it puts the whole team at a disadvantage. Fourth, don't undermine your coaches by shouting instructions from the bleachers or suggesting a better way of doing things. If you'd like to be a volunteer, we're always looking for a few good assistant coaches to be part of the staff. Otherwise, mixed instructions only confuse your son or daughter and will also interfere with their skill development and their sense of team play. You can best help your child by watching how the coaches teach skills in practice, then practice those skills with your child at home. It will be fun for both of you, and it will give you a better appreciation for how tough it can be to master some of those skills. Number 5, make it a point to learn the rules of your child's sport. Not only will you have a better appreciation for the game, but you won't be frustrated over not knowing what's going on out there. At the same time, learn your team's rules and support your coaches in the enforcement of those rules, even if their enforcement affects your child. 6, if you have a problem with the coach's rules or regulations, don't gripe about them. That can only serve to undermine the team morale. If you do have a problem, talk with the coach again, away from practice, games, and certainly away from the players. If you still have a problem, consult a league official. 7, make sure you let the coach know if your child won't be able to attend a practice or a game. The coaches care about your child and their team, and they don't want to leave anything to chance. Coaches will always expect a player to be at the practices and at the games, unless you inform them otherwise. 8, pay attention to what your child eats before practices and games. Carbohydrates are easily digested, so we recommend whole wheat breads, pastas, soups, fruits, or yogurt about an hour and a half before the activity, if at all possible. 9, learn the league policy of transporting children to and from practices and games. The coaches have families and commitments too, and they can't be responsible for supervising your child until you get around to picking him or her up. 10, be a supportive role model by refraining from alcohol or tobacco during practices, games, and also at those team parties. Remember, this is your child's classroom. 11, participate in team activities whenever possible and be a super fan by cheering on both teams. It will double your fun. And 12, remember that your child's coach is just like you, except that he or she has volunteered a great deal of time and effort to work with your children. Your coaches are not professionals. They're experiencing on-the-job training and want to do their very best to provide excitement, fun, and skill development so that your children will want to stay involved in sports. They need and deserve your support and your appreciation. It's not an easy job, and we are grateful that these dedicated folks have accepted the invitation to serve our league as coaches. You can show your appreciation and your support by making the commitment to fulfill your individual responsibility to the league, the coaches, and most importantly, to your child.
Every day that you wake up, your actions as an adult are being watched and absorbed by the children in your life. Children learn what is appropriate behavior from the adults around them, so we can't afford to make mistakes. Even at youth sports events, you have a responsibility to the children to be a positive role model and show them the right way.
Whoa, nice hit, Matt!
By participating with your child in Start Smart, you have already taken the first step toward a long and enjoyable sports experience for you and your child. Start Smart sessions will not only teach your child motor skills, but will also teach them teamwork, social skills, and cooperation that will contribute to their growth and development. Thank you so much for making our mission, better sports for kids, better kids for life, easier to accomplish.